During the lunch break, Zhao Zhang slapped the document on my desk with a pop. "Give me this report before I get off work this afternoon. I need to report it to the manager." That bossy tone was as if I were his subordinate. The intern Zhao Li beside me was stunned, and I watched the corners of his mouth as he turned around. Suddenly I recalled that last week I stayed up late to help him with data analysis, but he was showing off a steaming hot pot on his moments. This time I decided not to be the easy target for others to handle anymore. Why do you become a free laborer in the workplace? In-depth case analysis. My former colleague Zhao Wang always asked me to make a PPT for him under the pretext of doing a small favor. At first, it was just about modifying a few data points, but later it turned out to be a complete plan made from scratch. Once I stayed up all night to finish the work, but he casually commented, "It's okay," without even a basic word of thanks. One day I happened to hear him say to other colleagues, "XX has a good temper. It's the most worry-free to ask him for help." Only then did I realize that I had long been labeled as responding to every request. Underlying psychological mechanism, this is essentially a workplace variant of the threshold effect. When you, after the first small requirement is met, the other party will gradually increase the scale of their demands, because they will detect that you lack a sense of boundaries and bully you without incurring any cost. Just like a beggar asking you for 1 yuan and you give it, next time he might ask for 10 yuan. Second, the golden rule of no refutation. Set conditions. Make help an equivalent exchange cross-border implications of business negotiations. Experienced service providers all know a negotiation skill. When the client requests the delivery of the design draft within 3 days, they will not directly refuse but respond with, "Yes, but an additional 30% expedited fee will be required." This move seems like a compromise, but in fact, it establishes the rule of value exchange. In the workplace, the same principle applies. When faced with a colleague's order, the core message you need to convey is that your assistance is not an obligation, but a cooperation. That requires bargaining chips. The reshaping game of social status. Once Xiaozhong asked me to help revise the report. I calmly replied, "Sure, but you have to return the USB drive you borrowed last week to me first." He froze for a moment. In the past, I always responded to every request. But this sudden demand for return made him realize that the relationship between us was not that of superior and subordinate. The principle of reciprocity in psychology takes effect here. When you make a reasonable request first, the other party will subconsciously feel indebted, and thus reevaluate your interaction pattern. 3. Practical 3-step method. Use conditions to counter orders and rebuild boundaries. The first step, rise first and then fall, breaking the behavioral expectations. When colleagues make imperative requests, such as "help me check this form," avoid directly refusing by saying "I'm not available." Instead, give a positive response first. "No problem." Such an unexpected and straightforward agreement will leave the other party stunned for an instant, laying the groundwork for subsequent demands. Step 2. Set precise requirements. 3 principles to secure the initiative. Immediately put forward your conditions, which must strictly follow the 3 principles of reasonableness: specificity and lightweight. Rationality. The requirements should match the scale of the other party's request. For example, if the other party asks you to do the work for half an hour, you can ask, "Pour me a cup of coffee instead of help me do the reports for the whole day." Lack of specificity. Avoid vague expressions and clearly inform specific matters, such as "Please send me the customer data of last month," instead of "Do and always trouble me in the future." Lightweight. Choose tasks that take less time and are easy to complete, such as "Teach me to use the filtering function of this software to reduce the other party's resistance." Example: restoration. When Zhao Zhang asked me to hand in the report before leaving work, I smiled and replied, "Sure, but I'm currently working on the project manager's PPT. Could you first teach me how to use the new data analysis plugin? It's just a 5-minute delay for you." Step 3. Adhere to the bottom line and strengthen the rules with delaying tactics. If the other party refuses your offer, there's no need to argue. I'll just calmly say, "Then I'll help you after I finish what I'm doing. It's probably tomorrow." By reasonably delaying, make him understand that if he doesn't meet your conditions, he won't be able to enjoy your help. This kind of soft refusal retains both courtesy and boundaries. 4. Advanced strategies. Transforming respect from forced to active. Case: how can I get Zhao Wang to stop giving orders voluntarily? When Zhao Wang asked me to make the PPT for you again, I pretended to be relaxed and said, "The plan I made for you last time was praised by the manager as particularly professional. I heard it was even presented at the department meeting. You must buy me a cup of milk tea to celebrate." He scratched his head awkwardly and smiled, and since then the frequency of asking me for help has decreased sharply. Later, we learned from other colleagues that he privately complained, "It's too costly to ask XX for help. It's better to do it yourself." This is exactly the effect we wanted, to change his mindset from taking advantage to an assessment that it's not worth it. 3 major psychological techniques to assist. Joking expression. Use humor to package the request, such as, "Brother Wang, I can make a table for you, but in return, you have to send me the link of the hot pot base you mentioned last time to reduce the confrontation." Reverse rationalization. Occasionally ordering the other party to do small things, such as, "Could you just pick up a package for me?" Consider it as repaying the favor I did for you last time when I took meeting minutes. Gradually reversing the power relationship. Making debts public. Showing weakness in public occasions, such as team meetings, for instance. Saying, "Thanks to Xiao Li, I checked the data for me yesterday. Otherwise, I really couldn't have submitted that urgent report." To make the other party restrain their behavior under group pressure. V. Ultimate secret. Create a not-to-be-trifled with professional image daily boundary construction guide. Learn to strategically refuse. For requests that go beyond your job responsibilities, you should clearly state at the very beginning, "I can help you, but you need to... Avoid forming the stereotype of free labor force. Demonstrate professional value by proactively reporting work achievements and sharing professional insights, etc. Make colleagues aware that you have important matters at hand rather than idle labor. Build an emotional moat. When the other party makes unreasonable demands, you can appropriately show a troubled expression, such as frowning or sighing, to convey the signal that your demands are bothering me. Core cognitive upgrade. Respect in the workplace is never earned through nice guy behavior, but rather through clear boundaries and equivalent value exchanges. Just like porcupines in nature, it is precisely because they know how to maintain an appropriate, still distance that they can both avoid hurting each other and gain mutual respect. When you learn to replace compliant thinking with conditional thinking, those colleagues who always treat you as a pushover will naturally put away their bossy attitude. Interactive topics. Have you ever played the role of a nice guy in the workplace? What methods were used later to reverse the situation? Welcome to share your boundary building experience in the comment section and let more people master the skills of Antipua in the workplace.